it's an honor to introduce our next panel, and particularly the topic is of importance to a lot of folks in the partner community, which is essentially, how do you partner with SAP and SuccessFactors, and what's that all about? So we have the great honor of having Daniel Torrens, who runs the SAP SuccessFactors ISV ecosystem strategy and business development for the Americas. And Daniel is based out of sunny, beautiful Miami, Florida. And we are delighted to have you share your insights and get us smart about SAP SuccessFactors today, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you, Ezra, and good afternoon and good morning to everyone. Ezra, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If you could let me know that it is showcasing, that would be awesome.
Grow and scale with SAP SuccessFactors ecosystem. You're on.
Awesome. Well, good afternoon and good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you all today. When I was approached with this opportunity, I got very excited because I already feel at home. A little bit about myself is I started back in with SAP back in 2014 and have held different roles throughout the organization, mostly in HR technology. And I'm really passionate about helping organizations understand how to use HR technology to impact their people's purpose, potential, and overall passion points. So joining me today, I have three of our partners that we'll introduce shortly for the Q&A session. As part of today's conversation, I want to, before getting into some of the core components of our partner ecosystem, I want to talk a little bit about how we embed our partners into our overall innovation strategy so that you all can know that it's a core part of the way that we service our customers. We'll then move into an SAP Store overview, which is our one-stop shop marketplace. We'll talk about some real-life examples as to how we co-sell with our partners and what that looks like for potential partners that are looking to grow and scale within our ecosystem. And then we'll get right into our partner panel, and then I'll share some very easy to understand documented links for any partners that might be interested in joining our ecosystem. Awesome. So here at SuccessFactors, we are really focused and very passionate about putting people and their experiences at the center of everything we do. We go way beyond just the human capital management capabilities that the market is used to. And this is why a couple of years ago, we introduced a new category around the human experience management. Again, making sure that every touch point that every company has with their HR technology solution is really well thought out around how to best help that individual throughout their experience of their organization. How we deliver this is through our human experience management platform. Here in the middle, you could see our core HR pillars that we deliver for our customers, as well as talent management and some of the surrounding offerings. I wanted to show you all some of these because this is really where also our partners come in, right? I know I heard it on the session before, but no company out there can monopolize innovation. And so a lot of our partners come in and partner with us to extend a lot of the core pillars that you're seeing, and we'll show some examples here shortly. So when it comes to innovation, we are going to continue to build and release twice a year new capabilities that are requested and demanded by our customers. More than 80% of our innovations that are released twice a year come from our customers' feedback and come from their prioritization list. So we're going to continue to do that. We have acquired in the past very niche solutions that complete our overall offering. And so that's another way that we'll deliver innovation. We may acquire as well in the future. The final two is really where we're going to spend most of our time, and that's really around our pillar, around our partner. And this pillar really represents the best-in-class vendors that fall within our solution extension program. If you all are familiar with SAP SuccessFactors, you may be familiar already with some of the brands that you're seeing on the screen. We have 5 different solution extensions that tie back to our human experience management platform. This is an invite-only program. It's our most strategic program. and really it's a program where these partner solutions become part of the SAP pricing SKU, and SAP becomes a point of contact throughout the entire technology lifecycle. So from sales, from negotiation, from contract signature, from implementation, and also first line support once the customer has implemented it. SAP works very, very closely with these different solution extensions and their product management as well as marketing teams to ensure that we are each putting each other's enhancements on the roadmap and that we are owning the integration as a company so it doesn't fall on the burdens and shoulders of our customer. So at the bottom,
these, Daniel, these are, would you kind of think of these as white label type of arrangement?
they're not white labeled. We classify them as solution extensions.
Extension.
Our partners work very closely with us in the sales cycle. And so, for example, we have SAP Time and Attendance by Workforce Software. So they really help us complement different capabilities within the time and attendance space. And we have deep relations, but it's definitely working hand in hand with our partners.
Thank you, Daniel.
You're welcome. And then the final pillar, and where we're really going to spend most of our time on today, is really how we help customers extend and how that offers them innovation. Again, SAP knows that we cannot own and monopolize innovation. This is why we've completely opened up our platform and offer hundreds of APIs that partners are able to take advantage of in order to extend our capabilities. And there's a couple of ways that customers can do that. Customers, when it comes to extensibility, have really two options. Customers can do it themselves through some of the technology tools that we offer, which we call the Business Technology Platform. Or partners can also leverage the Business Technology Platform to extend SuccessFactors to build capabilities that are either required by a certain industry or needed for innovation. And then finally, we also have the SAP Store where HR technology vendors are able to go through our onboarding process in order to have a listing, which I'll show you guys a couple of examples. So when it comes to extended, I know I mentioned some things around our business technology platform. Think of it as a tool, a technology toolkit that we offer our customers and partners, and it's really broken down into 4 categories. I think for the purpose of this call, I want our audience to just think of really 2 options here. The first one is you can use this toolkit to build applications that extend SuccessFactors with the same SAP technology. So there's benefits to the customer behind that. In the partner panel, we're going to have Sodales talk a little bit about how they did that and the success that they've realized. And then for applications that already exist today and you're really not looking to rebuild them, you can leverage our integration toolkit within the business technology platform to build your integrations once you're going through the onboarding process to SuccessFactors. And not only is that a benefit for you, but it's a benefit for our customers because there are, in most cases, they're already using this middleware to connect other parts of their SAP landscape. And then also our field, quite frankly, is incentivized more to work with partners who have this BTP capability with integration. So those are the 2 things I want folks to keep in mind for this presentation. When it comes to the SAP Store, again, this is our one-stop shop where we have over 1,900 applications across the multiple lines of businesses that SAP has. Again, SAP is a lot more than just HR, even though it's a big component of our business. But the goal is that we have this one-stop shop marketplace to help customers find additional solutions to solve some of their challenges and needs. And the benefit for our partners is it exposes you to our global customer footprint, which is close to 450,000 customers globally. I just wanted to quickly go into the SAP Store, and you guys will get these slides, and this link will take you out into the SAP Store. And if you haven't been on it and you're considering the SAP Store, I highly recommend that you do so. We've done a lot of work recently to reimagine the experience. And one of the best ways is to use either the category filter, the industry filter, or the works with. For this call, I'm going to use the works with. Here, if you scroll down, we're going to have all of the different SuccessFactors modules that I showed you all earlier, where you can see all of the partner apps that tie back to those. So I'm going to go to one of our most popular modules where we have a lot of our partners tied to, and that is our recruiting management solution. So if I click on recruiting, SAP SuccessFactors recruiting management, here I can see there's 86 results that extend our recruiting solution to meet certain needs and help customers overcome any challenge. I will go into Anthill, one of our partners here. Each of our partners will get a landing page. You are able to own this landing page and the content that goes into it. And so we always recommend our partners to continuously update this landing page as their relationship with SAP matures and as they understand the partnership and the partnership evolves with SAP. So you can add a video, you can add the benefits and feature, some screenshots, and then also pricing, so that so that customers can get an expectation from a budgetary perspective. Some of our partners even offer a free trial. I'm seeing this more and more often. I think organizations that are easy to plug and play into a SuccessFactors module and could be stood up very quickly offer a free trial. And we typically see a very high conversion rate from a free trial to a signed contract with our customers. So that's another option that we offer. The way that the SAP store works, once you're in our marketplace, our customers, our account teams work with our customers to understand what needs and challenges they have outside of their current stack and solutions with SAP. We work closely with our customers to understand those needs, and based off those needs and challenges, we go to our partner marketplace to see if there's any potential solutions that can help overcome these solutions. Once we identify this, we submit a lead internally to our partners. Our partners can review those leads, accept it or decline it. And if the partner accepts it, this is really where the magic happens. This is where our longstanding relationships with our customers, both on-premise and cloud, come in. And we're able to partner with your account teams to ensure that we have a holistic strategy when we are approaching the customer. And that we're driving a joint value proposition. We like to call it 1 + 1 = 2. So SuccessFactors plus, in this case, Beamery equals this strong value proposition for the customer. Once that transaction has been successfully closed, our partners upload their contracts into the SAP Store cockpit, because all of our SAP Store partners end up executing a contract with our customers on their paper, not SAP paper. And then our partners pay us a rev share depending on what strategic pillar they sit within our organization. From a SuccessFactors perspective, if we're really looking at our end customer, which is the HR community, we have over 350 apps in our store that tie back to the SuccessFactors platform. On the screen here are some of our more popular ones. The benefit for the customer is, again, they've gone through that vetting process to be onboarded into the SAP store, where we check the integration, the use case, the mission, also the security protocols. So instead of our customers doing that on their own, we're taking all of that heavy vetting and evaluation off of their shoulders and putting it onto ours. I see this every day. Our partner ecosystem is really a driving force for innovation for our customers. As we know, the employee demands are different every day. We have new industry challenges, it seems like, every month. And so there's a need for innovation within the HR space. And this is where our partners are able to offer that to our customer base in a really fast time. And then my favorite part of the value proposition, because I've seen this happen time and time again, it's a fast time to value. I'm used to long core HR and payroll implementations, which we know can take years. With our partners, I like to say plug and play. A lot of them could be stood up in days, if not weeks, and we're able to provide that value realization to our customers in a really fast time, which strengthens the brand of our ecosystem. Now, when I first joined this role, I had a hard time wrapping my head around 350 applications that are constantly changing, just like our solutions. And so what we do with our partners, before I'll come back to this slide, what we do with our partners is we split them up into 4 different pillars. So here is all of the partnerships that we have within our marketplace that tie back to our talent management solutions. And then we break them into subcategories. So when we're educating our field, our marketing teams, our product teams, and our customers, this is one way to do it. And we show them, look, behind these logos, these are some of the capabilities across these subcategories that we can extend SuccessFactors. We also have all of our talent acquisition partnerships. We're going to have Grayscale and Beamery talk a little bit about how they extend SuccessFactors and the success that they've seen. We have our learning and development partners and the subcategories. And then we have our core HR and payroll. Both core HR and payroll have use cases for both on-premise solution. So as we started as an on-premise company, we're moving all of our customers to the cloud. We have partners that can help with that transition. And then we also have partner apps that continue to help the digital transformation once that organization has moved to our core HR cloud solution called Employee Central. We'll be hearing from Sodales Solutions here in a bit about how they've been able to help with that transition. I am going to pop right back here to this slide to talk a little bit about what are the different pillars within our SAP Store marketplace. So I know I've already talked about Solix. Solix falls outside of the SAP Store. If we look at just the SAP Store, there are three main pillars. Most of our partners enter in as a validated app when they are listed into the store. And as they transact and as they come up with very specific use cases that are relevant to the market, and as they work with our teams and build the right relationships, we may move them into Spotlight based off performance. Once they've been successful within Spotlight, our most strategic pillar is the SAP Endorse app, which is invitation only. And here is where you definitely do get a higher touch treatment from SAP, from everything from go-to-market, from product, from sales, from marketing, really all components of a technology company. You're truly embedded into all of our plans so that we can have a cohesive message to the market. So how do we sell together? We have three main co-sell motions in SuccessFactors that we sell with our partners. The first one is, and the most popular one, is we're going to upsell and cross-sell our partner apps into our existing SuccessFactors customer base. This is really plug and play for us. It's been a mindset shift for our organization, but I can say we're definitely there. So as most companies, especially in North America, have already moved to the cloud with talent management and core HR, we now have the next wave of technology, which is our partner apps, and we can upsell and cross-sell. And the good news is we've had a lot of reps actually hit our President's Club by just selling partner apps because they may have 5 accounts that are already owned SuccessFactors. So there's a lot of incentive behind selling our partner apps. We are also positioning our partner apps in net new pursuits. As we're going to win new logos that are not using SAP SuccessFactors today, our partners play a very integral part in helping us differentiate and be competitive in this very competitive landscape against our competitors. And then finally, it's not our most popular, but we do see it happen from time to time. We're able to sell into non-SAP SuccessFactors accounts. And the way that we're able to do this is because SAP has relationships across multiple stakeholders within some of our accounts. So we have large organizations who may not be using us for HR. They may be using another vendor, fill in the blank. But we have relationships with finance. We have relationships with the CIO. And so we're able to introduce some of these applications to see how we can further complement what they're using in the HR technology space. I also want to say it's important to know globally, right? Because we do have a global sales force. Our sales force is targeting large enterprise and mid-market. So if you are just a mid-market company and you're looking to grow into large enterprise, this is a great launch pad to do so, and vice versa. If you're just selling to large enterprise and looking for mid-market, this is also another good opportunity to tap into that market. Once you're in the SAP Store and you're co-selling with us across these three, SAP really invests in our partners and support you. That's everything from the SEO that we do on the store, the marketing, the blogs that we post. We also have industry teams. We have industry teams inside of SAP that are just focused on understanding industries in a very intimate way. And these industry teams also pick our partner apps to understand which partner apps have industry capabilities that complement our suite so that we can go to the customer and position these apps. I have worked for a couple of HR technology companies, and I can definitely say from what I've seen, SAP has the most aggressive incentive plans for AEs to sell our partner apps. Just one example is within our endorsed program. When selling an endorsed app for an AE, and after we've applied our multipliers and incentives, they get 100% quota retirement. That's right, 100%. I haven't seen that before, so it's just like selling one of our SKUs. And so it really incentivizes our AEs to tap into the vast ecosystem that we have. We provide you with a partner cockpit where you're going to do all of your day-to-day activities and also manage your pipeline, your leads, your conversion rates, close transactions, etc. And then we also provide you with a partner manager so that you can have a point of contact to navigate your journey throughout SAP and continue to grow. Now, some of the things that we expect from our partners, and I've already mentioned some of these, so I'll kind of fly through them, is once you're in the SAP store, again, all of our partner apps are sold on partner paper. And what this means is once the AE has introduced you into the account, or once you all have agreed to go into the account, the sales cycle should really be led by our partners. That's everything from discovery to demo to contract to negotiation and obviously through implementation. Our AEs are more than willing to be part of that process with you and help you navigate through who the internal stakeholders are, key decision makers. How do we get through some of these very hairy procurement processes and legal processes that these global organizations have? That's really where we come in. As you are reaching out to our AEs on certain accounts, and as we're plugging you into certain accounts, we always encourage our partners to come with a point of view. Make sure that you have a good 2 to 3 bullet points as to why you should be introduced into account, or what is that why now, or what is something that you've seen change within that account that you think your solution would help solve, so that it could be an easier introduction into that account. And then some of the final stuff is, I think, very self-explanatory. It's more just sales 101, is continue to follow up on action items, staying in front of them with account planning, helping with the business justification when you are selling your solution, and then also owning the joint close plans. Awesome. Well, this brings us to my favorite part of the session, where I have some of our most successful partners within our SuccessFactors ecosystem that also live in the store. And I'm going to turn it over to them for a brief intro. So Sana, we'll start with you. If you can give us a brief intro, your role at the company, how long you've been in this ecosystem, and a little bit about Sodales Solutions.
Very good. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Sana Salam, and I'm the founder and CEO of Sodales. And our company provides enterprise health and safety, employee and labor relations compliance for HR. And our main use case is all around SuccessFactors, employee centered learning, performance, and time. And just a quick fun fact about Sodales is that we were born and raised in the SAP lab, co-innovation lab, and I worked there as a volunteer. And today we have global clienteles, including clients like Lockheed Martin, ULA, Delta Airline, Volvo, Coca-Cola, Cargill, so on and so forth. So very excited for the session today.
Thank you so much, Sana. Brian? Or Charles, we'll go to you.
Sure. I'm Charles. I'm the Director of Partnerships here at Grayscale. We integrate into the recruiting module, and we help high volume and hourly hiring teams hire at scale by baking texting and automation into the recruiting module.
Awesome, Brian. I'll try you again. You may
all
be
right, all right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you, my friend.
Can you see me though?
We cannot, but
That's weird.
I have your picture on the screen.
All right, that's okay. I had my SAP alumni flag in the background. I hung it up on the wall just for this session. All right. Well, hello everybody. Thanks for joining. I love these sessions. These really truly are an opportunity to learn more about SAP. But first, about me, Brian Christian, 10 years plus SAP alum, different roles within SAP across the different channels. Now I'm with Beamery. So after the last year, I've been with Beamery, helping them drive their relationship with SAP and the SAP store and its partner progression. It addresses the talent acquisition and recruiting side of events. So it extends the functionality of SAP's core and ATS/recruiting management solution. So that way HR recruiters can be more efficient in what they're doing with both the candidates that they attain, but also the sourcing of, but also the ability to work through the processes that HR recruiters have to do. So fun fact, I don't know, Beamery feels like home to me. It feels like home just like it was at SAP. So it's always good to be a part of a fantastic partner. And I look forward to having a conversation with you guys about how we can help you drive your success within the SAP ecosystem.
Thank you, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, the first question I want to address to all of you, because I think it's the most important one. And I know all of you are at different stages of your relationship with SAP and also the link that you've been within the ecosystem. But I think something that stands true is the decision-making criteria that you all evaluated before entering into the SAP store. And I think if you guys can share what was that decision-making criteria, but more importantly, now that you've spent some time within the ecosystem, what are some of the things that you know now that you would give partners advice on when they're considering to potentially enter the SAP store? Charles, I'll go ahead and start with you.
Yeah, well, we're probably the newest partner here. We've only been in the SAP ecosystem for about 10 months. And upon entering, we were really just interested in the sort of mutual ICP between what we were looking for in customers and SAP's client base. And just 10 or so months later, SAP is now one of the most important and frankly, just one of the largest slices of our new business that we're responsible for. And so they've been super awesome as a partner. And I think one of the things I would consider is, SAP has maybe, I think 120 account executives in North America and about that many CEEs. And we've had the most success when we can engage them directly. I mean, we don't have quite that many salespeople on our team, but if you think about the incentives that SAP has in place, if you can leverage those relationships and really treat those AEs and CEs like customers, there's a lot of business there, and they all have their own account lists, and frankly, that's been a crazy lever that we could not accomplish just with our own sales team. So as you're thinking about getting in, I would think about how can you build those relationships with all of those reps, or at least as many of them as possible.
Sana, how about you? I know that you've been in the ecosystem now for some time, and some of that decision criteria was different back then than what it is now, but definitely share your wisdom on now knowing what you know now that you've been in the ecosystem about 7 to 8 years. What are some things that vendors really need to look at before entering the store to be successful long term?
So in our case, we were bootstrapped. We still are bootstrapped, and we wanted to build a profitable business. So the idea was not to take an idea and just have a bunch of developers code stuff, because lots of technology companies will give you technology platforms to do that, and you can build new ideas. We were looking for the business model, the commercial model. We were looking for guidance. And even if you're building a feature, knowing that this feature is going to make money and it's a relevant feature and it aligns with the market trend. So there's a lot of guidance that SAP has provided and or does provide to partners in terms of communication, to partners in terms of these are the industry trends. This is where the market is going. This is where you should invest. So industry trends, commercial models, business model, that human factor. So not just a bunch of technology platform and documentation, but actually having a human in terms of an architect, our product manager, your partner service advisor, all of that capability that we get from like a one-on-one, two-in-a-box kind of team that we get with SAP in terms of partnership was super helpful. So that's what we found different comparing with other platform companies that were also providing similar technologies, but not the human factor. So that's the first thing. Looking back today, I think one of the things that we can say in terms of advice is that SAP is a very large company. And when you enter the ecosystem, you can get maybe distracted. So the one thing that you have to focus on is customer success. If you can find a way to get customer references in their target accounts, That is how you get success. So then the sales executives start to give you references, the word gets out, the customers start to give you references. They really appreciate it. So whatever your use case is, whatever your business product idea is, try to narrow it down to the specific use cases that complement the SAP products as well. And if you can figure that out, you'll be very successful very quickly, and of course get attention from sales teams as well.
Thank you, Sana. Brian, over to you.
All right, I agree with everything that's been said up to date. I'll just add, I think as you're coming into the ecosystem is really taking a look at truly what the partner progression is. Everything that Daniel went through to start is invaluable information in evaluating whether your company is going to be a good fit inside the ecosystem, especially through the store. Other suggestions is become good friends with the product team and the go-to-market team and the solution owners in the different lines of business that you may be addressing. You can find them through different folks at SAP, through Daniel, et cetera. You can find them on LinkedIn too. You get pretty creative on how to find them. Conversations with those teams in advance and proactively can really lead you down the right path, get you connected with the right folks to be able to make good decisions on how you mix into the SAP store, but more importantly, their overall SAP product list and what they're going to market with. So, addressing together the different needs of their customer base and doing it jointly through their go-to-market plans. Sana, you hit the nail on the head, is really customer win stories, rolling up your sleeves and really getting to know the sales teams across the, from whether it's SuccessFactors line of business sales teams or another line of business, CX, et cetera, but also understanding the different programs. SAP is a large organization with lots of sales, and we're 30,000 plus in sales. Also sales programs. So you have industry cloud. Each of those industry business units have large teams that are heavily invested in their relationships with those different customers in those industries, and really can handhold you into those customer bases if your solution fits. So that all roots back to, are you making a good connection with the product team and the go-to-market team? So that way you're speaking the same language into that customer base. Other ones are RISE programs. So, there's lots of different programs and sales teams. It's really understanding how they work, working with them and knowing that, like Charles said, they're your customers too. So they're there to help you and treat them as customers and jointly go together inside the customer base that they have, 437,000 plus and growing, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
thank you, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And for all of our partners on the line or potential prospective partners, I'm just going to give you guys some practical things to think about. Definitely go into the SAP store, and for what you do, see if there's any of your competitors already on there, right? So that you could be aware of that before potentially entering. If there is your competitors, and if you have a strong differentiator, we definitely want to learn it and know about it, but I think it's helpful just from a foundational standpoint. Think about what is something that you're truly complementing SuccessFactors with. So also do your homework on SuccessFactors capabilities, right? Are you bringing something that already is included in our core capabilities, or is it something truly changing in the market, whether it's from a regulatory perspective or also from an industry perspective? And then the final thing I will say is, I think all three of them mentioned SAP is a very large organization. And so the partnerships that I have seen be successful within our global organization is when HR technology companies have a dedicated team, and really more than one person that is dedicated to the SAP relationship, so that you can scale globally. So that's, for example, someone in North America, maybe one or two, somebody in Latin America, EMEA, APJ, South, Middle East, et cetera, and so on. So those are some things that they're not prerequisites, but things that we really want everyone to kind of do and assess before they come into the store, because it's definitely not a light switch. You get into the store and then you see transactions coming in. It definitely takes a lot of the core capabilities that I just mentioned. So the next question is, Charles, I'm going to come back to you. You mentioned you guys are one of the newest partners, but also in addition to being one of the newest partners, you guys are one of our fastest growing partners outside of our SAP Endorse program. Can you talk a little bit about and give some practical examples to our audience as to how SAP helped you become one of those fastest growing partners and what that gave you?
Yeah, well, I think not a week or two after we officially became a partner, we just engaged a few members of one of the sales teams, and one of the SuccessFactors AEs in the East, Elizabeth Ventura, said, "Oh, hey, I've got this account. You may have heard of them, Hershey's. They have a need that tends aligned with what you offer." And we ended up having a really fast sales cycle with Hershey's for quite a large deal size, just frankly. And then we sort of pivoted that into that success story into another account, Chobani in the East. And then all of a sudden there was a sort of runaway effect where we started winning, we started finding mutual wins with account executives, and they started spreading the word. And SAP's incentives are just so well aligned to get us working together with those AEs. And like Daniel mentioned, we are one of the fastest growing partners in the ecosystem. I think we were number 2 for transactions last year. And that was really just pivoting one win into another win and then spreading those stories with other teams. And there's sort of this snowball effect where all of a sudden all the AEs hear about, hey, I hit my quota with this new partner, check your account list. And yeah, that's that sort of snowballing effect has been really important to how far we've gotten in the ecosystem.
Thank you, Charles. And I think just to help everybody understand our account teams, for every account that we have assigned at SAP, we have an industry AE, which manages the overall relationship across all of the LOBs that we cover. So that's finance, supply chain, procurement, HR, expense management, etc. We have then the SuccessFactors AEs, which Charles, Sana, and Brian work very closely with. And then we also have a customer success partner, which is really responsible for helping that customer to renew each of the SKUs that they have, but also introducing some of our partner apps based on their weekly conversations with them. So there's a lot of touch points. Those are just 3. There's much more out of but those are the main 3 touch points that are incentivized to sell and position some of our partner apps. With that being said, Sana, I want to come back to you. I know that your journey started back in 2015, 2016 with SAP and mostly what we call now our business technology platform. And I know that you did an amazing job of identifying something that we weren't offering to the regulated industry. And that's kind of how you were able to build your application and really supported us to help our customers from on-premise move to the cloud when fulfilling that gap around health and safety. Can you talk a little bit about that journey and how SAP supported you when you were building the app on the business technology platform, and then what's that resulted in the success that you're seeing today? As I will just give you a shout out as our not fastest, because you guys have been in here, but you guys do the most transactions in the SAP store today. So it's been a great success story.
Yes, very good. So in our case, our use case is on compliance, which is employee labor relations, health and safety. It's all legal stuff that happens in a company, regulations. So because it's very sensitive data, we needed a platform that has all those data center compliances, location reach, but also we looked at the markets, we looked at all the providers, and we were trying to create a singular platform. When we saw that, we noticed that there was a gap in existing products, and that gap could be fulfilled with something called SAP HANA, and that tool existed inside BTP. So it was really a technology decision to find the right technology and then having that component in the cloud. So which is why we chose to build on BTP. It used to be called SAP Cloud Platform or HCP at that time. So we really bootstrapped from ground up the entire product development, which means we needed to reduce our R&D costs. So R&D cost reduction came from having all the guidance, because we get an architect assigned. In this program, the architect will guide you in terms of technological decisions, testing, integration, security assessments. almost 90% of our customers are won through tenders and RFPs. And there's a section for security and privacy where they score us, and we end up getting the highest points in it just because we chose to build on BTP, because that's a very, very strong tools for security that BTP provides. So I would say R&D reduction in R&D costs and customer acquisition costs was a big benefit that we gained from building on BTP. Another one was the fact that we could do a higher win rate just because we could utilize differentiated capabilities from BTP, such as big data. There's really good integration components that do process level integration. So that was also key for us, whereas other platforms were just doing data level integration. So things like that really made our product differentiated, which means that we could improve our win rate in these tenders and RFPs. So I think that there was a technical decision, but also a business decision. And of course, profitability was improved as an overall business because we built on BTP.
Thank you, Sana. And I'll just add to that, because I know you and I were working together back in the day in public sector. Sana and the team actually were able to be agile and quick to the market with things that we really needed to service the public sector from an HR perspective that we just didn't have in our SuccessFactors bag. Before SAP bought SuccessFactors, SuccessFactors never chased the public sector. So when it became part of SAP, we had to chase the public sector. And so we were able to work with our partners and leverage the BTP toolkit to be agile and quickly to the market to provide this innovation. And in return, Sana was being positioned everywhere because that was the option to service our public sector customers globally. And that's how they've been able to grow and scale. Now, I'm sure that there's a lot of technology vendors here on the line that are like, we're not going to rebuild our technology tools. We already have a successful technology company. What other options are there to leverage BTP? And earlier I mentioned that some of our partners also leverage our BTP toolkit and the integration middleware that we offer there. And there's tons of benefits also from a customer evaluation standpoint that customers can experience by leveraging this middleware. So Brian, I know you've done a great job and really convincing Beamery, who's already a very successful HR technology company, to adopt BTP as an integration. Can you talk a little bit about how you convinced your leaders and really underline why our potential partners should be considering BTP for integration?
437,000 customers. There's it's it's pretty easy to put it on a total addressable market in whatever line of business your solution may fit. But the customer value prop is the biggest reason why I picked and I pushed to be able to have BTP integration, because I knew we were going to go into core HRIS, RCM, our recruiting management or applicant tracking system customers for SAP. I think it's a total addressable market like 13,000 just in that alone. And we wanted to be able to have the customer value prop between the SuccessFactors sales teams and ours, and be able to go in there and say we could address their compliance, their security, their GDPR, CAPA, or whatever type of GDPR you're addressing. Also, the role-based permission adoption right off the top, not have that a back-end conversation later down the sales cycle or down selection. So that was a big part of it. Another part was to bring in other stakeholders, such as finance, folks that may be signing off on the purchases of Beamery solutions or other solutions. Because of our utilization of BTP integration, the Business Technology Platform Integration Suite, we can tie into SAP Analytics Cloud and be able to give HR analytics back over to the finance department and the HR department to make good decisions for both today's employees of the company as well as future candidates that they may need to hire. So it gave a lot of value to the customer base on that realm. To be a little more candid, it also is of good value when you're addressing the sales teams and the programs within SAP. So without going into too much detail there is a big value prop with getting their attention to help you go to market together with them. So.
Yep, and just to underline that a little bit more, based on the incentives that we have in place, our field, the likability that they're going to work with our partners that are leveraging that BTP integration because of those incentives, the likability is much, much higher. So definitely keep that in mind as you're evaluating the SAP ecosystem. Charles, I want to circle back around to you as one of the newer partners, and I think it's really going to help prospective partners. What are the 3 things that partners need to do once they come into the ecosystem that is going to help them put that pedal to the metal and have that fast time to success like you did? What are the 3 top things that you think they need to think about?
Well, for one, you need to think very hard about where your product fits within the SAP ecosystem. You may have a sort of ICP independent of any partnership, but within the SAP ecosystem, there might be a specific gap, a product gap, or something that customers are asking for. And so you need to think hard about your positioning within the ecosystem, and not only what you mean to those end users, but what you mean to any of the people who might refer you that business, whether it's the go-to-market team or AEs or the customer engagement team. Second, I sound like a broken record here, but this is really how we've had so much success. How do you leverage all of the people at SuccessFactors that can help you, right? You have salespeople, you have go-to-market, you have CEs, you have people who could demo your product within the demo instance. How do you leverage as many of those people as possible so that when a customer voices a need, you have somebody there on your team who goes, oh, I've heard of Grayscale before. Let me actually show them. Let me show them some assets that Charles sent me. And then third, I would say staying top of mind. There's a lot of people, again, at SAP who can help you. And as the old saying goes, what have you done for me lately? And so how do you keep your product, your offering, the gap you fill for customers, top of mind? Because there's a lot of new companies coming into the ecosystem and there's always new tech. And so how do you sort of occupy that space in everybody's mind, kind of dedicated to partners?
I also want to highlight some of the things I think you guys have done that has really helped your acceleration. Grayscale did a really good job from a marketing perspective in creating 2 to 3 minute videos that were customer facing, but also we were able to share with our field to educate them. These 2 to 3 minute videos really showcase how Grayscale would work as an extension of our recruiting solution, and would actually show screenshots of how SuccessFactors would communicate with Grayscale and what was the joint value proposition. Again, because we have 300 different partner apps on top of maybe 60 different SKUs that our SuccessFactors reps sell, the more brief you are and the more crisp you are with your value proposition to the customer, the joint one, the easier it is to consume. You also did a really good job of creating email templates that were easy to copy and paste when AEs were introducing you all to our accounts, which gave you guys agility. And then finally, you guys held amazing webinars. And I think Sana talked about this, and Sana, you guys have done that well. Once you guys become part of the ecosystem, we also help you on joint customer webinars. We want to make sure that we are going out to the streets together to say, look, we are stronger together. Yes, they're not an SAP solution, but here's the use case that we help our organization solve.
Yeah, the last thing I'll mention, I will piggyback off there. We have invested a lot in creating assets and playbooks, and like Daniel said, emails that are not tailor-made for our end customer, but are tailor-made for the SAP team. And having a specific marketing effort, again, whether it's assets or newsletters that are tailored toward that team. Again, there's so many people within SuccessFactors that have an incentive for you to win. I think you're leaving a lot of money on the table by not engaging them.
Brian, final question for you. You guys have done a really good job, Beamery, within our ecosystem and moving through those different pillars. You guys have started at validated, moved into spotlight, and are in the process of continuing to progress. You give our audience a sense of how you did that, and make it practical for them as to what that means of what they could do so that they can plan strategically to move through the validated, the spotlight, and then the SAP endorsed.
Yeah, I mean, SAP has done a very good job of documenting how to move through the progression of those different partner tiers. The first thing I would do is go look at the store and get to know it, but I'd also go and you can search it in the store, the second tier, Spotlight. And I would look at what they require you to become Spotlight, specifically the point system. there'll be certain weights on certain things. It doesn't mean you have to meet the whole point system they have there, just a progression of. But really, the steps to progressing is there. I mean, that's the starting point, spotlight. And there's a 4-page document taking no more than 10 minutes to get through it all, and you kind of give you a clear understanding of what you need to do to be successful in your first step. After that, it's everything that Sana and Charles and I have stated on this call. I mean, it's a trickle of each of those different steps on understanding where your product fits. I mean, are you competing? Are you co-peting? Are you a white space? Understanding how you can fit into their go-to-market plans. That's pretty prevalent. You can see it, or you can ask for it, and you can see where you fit. So, how quickly is it? Go ahead. Yeah, so really it's all the piece. I mean, you could take this recording and review all the different advice that you've had on there, the summary that Daniel's had, but really the first step, review that spotlight, understand what they want there. That kind of opens up to what else you need to do in order to move to the endorsed status, which is the invite only status. And then, like, back to Charles, work with the sales teams, know your personas that you're addressing. And put together the content for them that truly quickly understand what you do and how you do that so well, and how you can help them with their customer wins and jointly with yourselves. So I'd love to hear
Brian,
some
I'll just
questions.
highlight too, what Beamery has done very well is pretty much mapping their sales reps to our sales reps from an account perspective. And it's not just the mapping. When the Beamery reps show up to speak to our reps about accounts, they're already talking about past sales cycle information that they have. They're talking about key decision makers. They're talking about proven industry capabilities that they have that complement our core offering. So I think Beamery has been able to move through those pillars, and obviously those translate into closed transactions because of the preparation work that you all have done with your field when talking to our field to move that process smoothly. So that's another, I think, core ingredient of the success.
Agreed.
And Sana, to end over with you, our veteran, and to give us some golden nuggets and wisdom here now that you've been part of the ecosystem for 8 years. I know we've talked about, this is not a race, it's a marathon. From a strategy standpoint, what are some of the things that partners need to be considering long-term when looking at this partnership in order to have sustainability?
Yes, I think we'll start by saying the fact that, and this is where we wasted a lot of time because we did not have experience, was to not have a wide product. So we noticed that over the period of time is the more vertical you are and the more vertical use cases you can create in a wide space, the more successful you would be. For example, you could be a company that has a lot of healthcare customers or education sector customers. You should look at what portfolio you're bringing in and find out your verticals. And then for each vertical, know your use cases. And the use cases is what you educate on. So when Charles talks about, educating the sales team, that's what we mean by simplifying your key messaging. So don't have a wide or generic key messaging. The key messaging should be very use case specific. And another thing is set up realistic goals. So a lot of partners, I think I noticed that could have been very successful, but they were not, is because they set unrealistic goals. So it's not like you will get 100 customers in your year one. You should just focus on getting your 3 reference customers in year one. And if you can do that, it multiplies very, very quickly. We have now over 100 customers running on the platform. We, in just 7 years, not only bootstrapped our product from $0 investments, but also have a 92% renewal rate on our product, which is very hard to find in our industry. So what we found in this entire journey was to just set the right goals for your year 1, year 2, year 3. We notice it's really the year 2 or year 3 is where you start to scale because you've already proven yourself in the space, in the SAP space. Another one is, this is so important, you have to win the trust of the sales team. And the only way they can start trusting you is not just through your amazing product or amazing branding, but also for you to do something for them. What that means is if they need you to come in and do a demo or help out in an RFP, you have to invest the time and effort to win their trust. So for us, we did not have connections with the top level people or VPs. So we started from ground up, and we were helping AEs to demo our solution and to complement our solution in net new customers. And a lot of the times we didn't close those deals, but that allowed us to build those connections and trust, and the word got out. So I think what I'm trying to say is that you should really look at your first year strategy, which will be totally different from your year 2 and year 3 strategy. So you build trust, you build reference customers, you build your key use cases, key messaging, keywords that they should highlight, and then from there you begin to scale. So I think that is how I see it. And in year 3, not only you'll be able to multiply your average contract value, but also you'll be able to multiply the inbound leads as well as all of the traction you will get in the ecosystem.
Thank you, Sana. Well said. Well, I appreciate all of you guys providing insight of the day in the life of our partner ecosystem. And as our audience can see, they're all at different stages and at different touch points within their within the ecosystem. So to wrap us up here, how do we get started? If you guys are interested in getting started, we have a very well mapped out onboarding plan that I can send you all. You guys are more than welcome to send me an email at daniel.torrens@sap.com. That's my first name, last name at sap.com. And I can share this with you. And this is you guys will have a contact through each step of the way of our onboarding plan, but this is it. This is how you get into the SAP store. I also want to highlight that we have what is called the SAP.io program, which is a cohort that we do annually. We just finished one for Metaverse and SuccessFactors, where we had 5 Metaverse partners extend SuccessFactors. And this cohort is pretty much a 6-month investment that SAP will make into startups to embed them into our go-to-market strategy and ultimately end up on the SAP store. So this is another way that you all can enter the SAP store. The next cohort that we have, you do not have to be out of Tel Aviv, but this is where the hub is for the deskless workforce and people management. I'm going to include a link here. I can also send it to you via email. If you do have a solution that solves needs and challenges for the deskless worker, do not miss this opportunity. This is a golden ticket to be really, really successful within the SAP ecosystem. And finally, I know we have 4 minutes left. I'll open it up to see if we have any questions in the chat or anyone want to come up.
That was a terrific presentation, Daniel and Sana and Brian and Charles, and there was some chat going on about how candid and direct and practical and specific you were, and we're super grateful for that. It's really stuff that other partner folks can relate to. So thank you for that clarity. One thing that you mentioned was consider adopting the BTP solution. And I for one am not too familiar with it. So could you point us somewhere to how would one learn more about this platform and how it can perhaps be deployed or used? Where do you find out more about that, Daniel?
Yep. And I don't know, can you still see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is the slide that I would share. Again, it's a toolkit that has multiple different components to it, depending on what you're looking to do. It's going to mean different things to you, but this one has links where our potential partners can learn more based off the different use cases. Again, we've heard of 2. One where an organization built their entire application off the BTP platform, and then Beamery, where they used just the middle component right here, which was the integration, which I would say most of our partners fall into, using it more on the integration part. But I just put my email in the chat. If you guys want to learn more about the BTP, I can send you the slide. But you can simply also just Google SAP BTP platform for partners, and all this information can be readily available there as well.
Yes, I can add to it, if that's okay. The way I see it, because we run our entire business on it, and we have lots of large global clients using our product. Of course, it's the back end of our product. We have found it to be an amazing toolkit with all types of components: database, UI, integration, security, any component that you would need to build a new product, or if you already have a product. But I think the main thing to note is a very big focus and awareness within SAP on this platform. There's a lot of investment. So this is something you should really look at. Also, it's because there's a lot of technological insight and architectural support that comes with it. For us, our support costs post go lives and meeting the SLAs became extremely easy just because we built on BTP. So I highly recommend you, because I'm a big believer of BTP. So you should look at the BTP website or tools, but also think about how you can use your use case to fit or utilize any of the BTP toolkit to get better capabilities.
Thank you. I will say this, SAP seems like, I mean, it is this humongous global company and seems overwhelming on how could a small or middle-size HR tech vendor possibly figure out how to work with such an enormous company. And you all have made it seem very doable and practical. And so really grateful for those insights today.
Thank you. I just want to thank our panelists, Sana, Charles, and Brian. You guys make us shine. You guys are the true stars of this show, and I really appreciate your support and investment into our partnership. We're grateful for you.
Thankful for everything that HR Tech does, and Daniel, especially, you're really driving a big part of the success of the SAP store and the SAP. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yes,
Thanks
so much.
everybody.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Sounds